There is reasons why teams who dominate the regular season and get into the postseason don't win. We want to act, because what happens is, folks, getting to the analytics crew, they want to find reasons why their numbers don't work. They want excuses, right? The famous thing, Billy Bean, Moneyball, my stuff doesn't work in the postseason. Well, there's a reason. There's always a reason why stuff works and doesn't work. And what you're seeing here is Atlanta against people who don't throw gas, they feast. You do throw gas, they struggle. Well, what does Philadelphia do better than anybody else? I'll tee it up for you, Cody. What do the Philadelphia Phillies, what are they for sure, other than winning at home in the postseason, what is Philly number one at in baseball?
Relief, let me guess, relief pitchers that throw over 97 miles an hour.
2,022 pitches. Is that a small sample size?
That's a pretty big sample size.
2,022 pitches thrown by the Phillies bullpen. 22% of their total pitches are 97 or more. Remember, there's a lot of breaking balls thrown in baseball these days. Slider, 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 sweeper, sweeper, sweeper. But when it comes to bringing the gas, nobody throws harder 97 or more than the Philadelphia Phillies. They are numero uno in baseball. So when you start matching that up, because the Philly starters, especially like Wheeler, Nola, I mean, Ranger Suarez is not going to be that guy, but their starters bring it, and then now you're bringing in they're bringing in the five-headed monster. The Braves batted just 186 overall in the series. And let's see here, 13-6. By the way, their OPS, they're slow. So the Braves batted 186 in the series. This is your massive, we hit more home runs than anybody else. All these talking heads were saying it could be the greatest lineup. I still got to bust Vince Cotronio's chops, because if you remember one of my late third inning hits, I was like, hey man, we haven't had a team who led the league in home runs win the World Series since the 2009 Yankees. And I had a bunch of these statistics why the Braves could be vulnerable. Remember what Vince said to me when I threw it back to him, my third inning hit?
I'm trying to remember now.
He said, talk to me in October.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cliche.
It's October. Braves batted 186 overall in the series, but against pitches 97 or more, the Braves only hit 115 against the Phillies in that series. And the OPS was 363. Essentially, there is a reason their pitching stunk, their starters stunk, and they couldn't hit velocity. So don't tell me there's randomness of why teams lose in the playoffs. They couldn't match the intensity. They couldn't match the fastballs. They couldn't hit. There's a reason why the mighty Atlanta Braves went home. They were a one-dimensional team. You took away their one dimension, and they couldn't beat you. They got no way to beat you. That's just fact. So that's why I say Mason Miller to the bullpen for the A's may not be a bad deal, to have a guy who can crank it up to 102, 103 sitting in your bullpen for the postseason. And you might say, Townsend, they're not going to the postseason. I get it. I don't know if he can stay healthy as a starter. And you see teams, i.e., what if the Corbin Carroll of the A's is Zach Gallen? I know that's a stretch, but what if this young group can turn it around pretty fast? You're going to need some gas in the bullpen. And the one guy that you got that has that kind of gas is Mason Miller. Mason Miller, who was it? It might have been, I like to show Foul Territory. They do a lot of what we do. I respect what they're doing because they got a lot of former players. It was somebody on Foul. It was that crazy Jonathan Papelbon. Oh, my God. Jonathan Papelbon admitted that he was doing like uppers and 3 shots of Jaeger before he went. I mean, that guy's a nut job. But Papelbon said it. He goes, if you're a starter and you don't go very many innings, you really don't affect the game. And I agree with that. If I'm not going to get a lot of outings and a lot of innings on a Mason Miller, he's not going to affect a lot of the games. But if I can get a lot more outings of him out of the bullpen, he's going to affect a lot more games. That's where you got to start to think, is the best thing for Mason Miller's health, his career, and for us to win is to put him in the bullpen and put that velocity in the bullpen.